don't even know if this is going live with YouTube or not. So let me do this. We are live. So I'm going to get the link. We'll start up in just a minute for those listening. How do I look, Christal? Am I okay?
Yeah.
All right. My makeup is fine?
You forgot to put on.
I forgot to put on my makeup?
A little bit.
What do I need? Do I need eyelash?
No.
Do I need
My
rouge?
makeup is fine.
You forgot to put on.
I forgot to put on my makeup.
Okay.
A little bit.
What do I need? Do I need eyelash?
No.
Do I need
My
rouge?
makeup
Is
I
fine.
might, it's a bad sound here.
You forgot to put on.
I forgot to put on my makeup.
Okay.
A little bit.
What do I need? Do I need eyelash?
No.
Do I need rouge? Is
I
fine.
might, it's a bad sound here.
I forgot to put on my makeup.
Okay.
A little bit.
This is terrible.
What do I need? Do I need eyelash?
No.
Do I need rouge? Is fine.
Sorry, folks.
Can I say hi to
You can say hi. You can say whatever you want to.
Carefully.
Hi, guys.
You don't need to bend over. It's going to catch everything that you're saying.
Stay sitting.
Okay. I think we're good to go.
Hello.
Oh, we have people already. So I'm going to try to follow a couple of things here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live stream. We're going to try to get this going in just a minute. Nanette, do you want to scoot over? Let me know, everyone. I'm going to follow everybody on my phone. We've got Plant Nation saying it sounds good. Everybody else, it sound good? Let me know. The video, does that look good? Is it a little bit dark? Let me know. This is our first time with a new camera, a new mic, new software. We're going to try this and see how it goes. And if it doesn't, we'll make adjustments. Okay, looks like we have a bunch of people already. Barb is in, Mad City Reptiles, Toilet Pete. What an interesting name. Morgan, you joined. What did you do? Run home and jump on right away? Caitlin, thank you for joining, Caitlin. And Ray joined. Barb's in. Toilet Pete, I can't get past that name. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We have a bunch of questions. We're going to try to cover those questions as much as possible. I asked Nanette and Christal. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
And I asked everybody.
And I'm their granddaughter.
You're not my grandmother? Okay, let's get going here. We're going to go through these questions as quick as we can because we have a ton to go through. And please, if you have questions, let me know, and I'll see if I can follow along with any additional questions. But our very... We'll see you later. You okay?
She needs a drink. Go get a drink.
Okay.
You okay? You just didn't want to cough there.
You're not dying?
I'm not.
Okay.
That's good to hear.
My grandpa thought I was dying.
No.
Ken, thanks for joining. And Beast Mode. Hi, Susan. So I'm going to be looking down. I'm going to try to look up as much as possible, but we're gonna make this work. Let's go to our very first question. This was a question from a video that we did 2 weeks ago, and I asked everybody to leave questions, and I would we would answer them today. But before we do that, let me mention, if you know of anything that we should improve on this channel, anything that I can do different with the channel, please let me know. Leave a comment, and I'll try to catch those after the show and see what we can do. And by the way, I'm wearing the DVD Pet shirt that I got about 10 years ago. Hint, hint, DVD Pet. It's an old one. Let's get to our very first question finally. This is from Tommy Jarvis 2, and it's from Keen Hearts HXC2. And the question is for Christal, and both of these questions are exactly the same. It's, what is Christal's favorite isopod? Do you have a favorite?
I do, and thank you for asking me that because it's dairy cows.
You don't, it's not Hoffman Segai?
And and those guys. Because I love isopods, and when my grandpa first got dairy cows, I did this. Are those dairy cows? I love them.
So your two favorite are dairy cows, and what's the other one?
Hang guys.
I think we can know. I think we can end the show right there. I'm done. That was perfect. Thank you, Christal.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question is, hi, well, this is from Beast Mode Silkworms 56, and it's from Elaine Smith 2. Thank you both for this question. It's kind of the same question. Christal, in the future, do you see yourself doing what your grandfather is doing with his creatures?
Yes. And thank you for joining on, Brooke.
Oh, Brooke joined. Do you want to wave hi to Brooke?
Hi, Brooke.
Is she your, what's the phrase? BF something? Is she your BF?
She's my BFF.
BFF. Brooke, you're her BFF. So there. You've got that going for you. Okay. So what, did you answer the question?
She said yes. Why?
Oh.
Because, can I tell them what happened this morning?
No. Tell them about why you like isopods.
Their nature, and Earth is mother of nature, so I love nature so much.
You see that right there? Brooke says,
Hi, Christal.
and Mad City, Brooke says, hi, Christal. Mad City Reptile says, love dairy cows too. Brooke, you're my BFF too.
Oh.
With a purple heart. Oh, is a purple heart better than a red heart? Is that like twice the value, twice the points? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
It's my favorite color, guys. With pink.
Okay, this is from Liz. Thank you, Liz, for a question. Lots of questions, Wally. So I have a question for Nanette. What is your favorite gecko or reptile species? If you could pick anything.
I would say it would be Pictus, because I like how their personality is. They're fun to work with, and they're cool. Every time we go in the tank, they look at us, and they're all over. They're fun.
And that's my favorite gecko too.
Okay.
That's one of my favorites as well. Aquaballs, thank you very much for joining. Barb, this is a question from you. Thank you very much. And she says, thank you for the video. I always like seeing your net in the videos. Oh, you too, Wally. I think that was kind of well, I better say Wally too. My question is, Christal, what is your favorite thing to do with the animals? Clean poop, right? Clean gecko poop.
I love to hold aminos and pet them, and I feed them every day with my grandpa right here.
Aww. How do you like finding new baby crested geckos?
Oh, if we see one, I do this. Is there babies or not? I have great eyesight for baby cresteds or leopards or
I think
baby pictus.
I think you're absolutely right. You find them before I do, and that's just no fair whatsoever.
Yeah, and I will find in baby baby crested geckos, leopards, and pictus.
Can you tell she's taking theater and drama this summer for summer school?
Yeah, and reading and math.
Okay, this is a question from, this is a point. This is a note from Mad City Reptiles. This is Ryan McVeigh. Oh man, it just went up. Doggone it. Let me jump back up here because it's a really good point. This is Ryan McVeigh. Christal needs to go hiking with the girls. Would that be
Yes,
fun? Maybe
with
you
his
could go
girls.
hiking and isopod
Yeah, like-
hunting and
Pick her up any day.
pick her up
Yeah.
any day for.
I want to go isopod hunting and hiking with your girls.
I'm sure I'm missing a
Mad
lot of
City
people here.
Reptiles.
Mad City Reptiles, Ryan. Scale 13, thank you for joining. Dark Reptiles, thank you for joining. Charles, thank you very much for joining. This is from Dark Reptiles. Love the stream, Wally, and company. Love your videos and your channel, and I think you guys are amazing. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much for saying that I'm amazing and my grandparents.
Somebody, and I missed it, and I apologize. Somebody asked about mosquito bits with fungus gnats. Huge subject, but go to Aquarimax Pets. Russ did a great video on helping to control fungus gnats. Great channel, lots and lots of great videos. Go there, check out his mosquito bits, mosquito bits, and how they can control fungus gnats. Sorry I missed who submitted that. Lord KY Faison, I can never pronounce your name. I just know it's you. I'm going to read this. I still think Jerry cows look more like cookies and cream. Got to agree with you. Okay, this is actually from Ken, my good friend that, I don't know if you can see it just at the top here. Ken did a sign for us for the Supreme Gecko business and woodworking, and it's amazing. Thank you very much, Ken. So because you gave us the sign, I'll go ahead and read your question. Otherwise, I wouldn't have read it here. What is the best beginner gecko for someone living in an area temps 75 to 85? Normally, the best gecko that I would say, the best reptile, would be a crested gecko. But if you're talking about temperatures at 80 to over, I would have to go probably with a leopard gecko, or everybody say it together. What's your favorite gecko?
Questus! No, I meant Pictus and Questus.
And crested. So in those temperatures, I'd probably go with a picta gecko, Periodora picta. This is from Dale. Dale, are you on the stream here? I haven't seen you yet. Dale, DBD Pet Dale. Okay, Dale is asking, great video, Dale. My question would be, how many hours approximately per week do you work on caring for all of your critters? So I'm retired now, so I watch, the Jetsons and the History Channel and repeats of the 1976 baseball games on TV
Christal
all
does.
day long. That's
Christal
all
does
that I
all the
do.
work.
And Christal does all the work.
And guess who helps me? My grandma, because we are besties.
I thought you were besties with Brooke.
No, that's a BFF.
Oh,
There's
that's
a
a-
difference.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Guys, guess
WE, whatever.
like, BFF means best friend forever.
Okay, I got it now. What was I going to say? Oh, we need to answer the question. So give me a guess. Give me a rough ballpark. How many hours a day, considering Saturdays and Sundays too, do I spend down?
A day.
Actually, I wouldn't even say downstairs, but on animals. Doing something social media or with the critters.
I'd say probably 10 to 12 hours a day, at least.
I would think so.
At
Yeah,
least.
and I love helping my grandpa June.
Thank you, Joshua, for joining. Mad Cities, you need Periodora Misobi, so I can come see them. I'm afraid of Periodora Misobi. I had an opportunity from Harold Chapman once. I just remember this of getting Misobi, and I was deadly afraid of them because they are very sensitive. I need to be very honest. I need more experience with working with animals before I even try an animal like that. So just joined. Hey, from the UK, do you have any information on golden geckos? I've got a new one coming and just tried to get us as much information. I'm going to comment on that after the session here because it's a little bit lengthy, but I don't want to interrupt with some of these other questions. But their care is pretty basic. I'll send some information in the live stream. Yes.
Can I read one?
Yes. Do you want to read one from
No.
here? Okay, go ahead.
One comment.
Okay.
Christal, this is from Beast Mode Silkworms. Christal, Grandpa should pay you by the hour.
Nope. We're not going to read that question. Nope. Let's.
Oh,
We're going to skip right over that. Down the wormhole. Hi. Thank you very much for joining. I love your live streams. Thank you very much. This question comes from Aquarium X Pet. This is Ross, and he's asking my question: which species of isopod has required the biggest learning curve to achieve success? So I would say, what's that? I would say that would be any of the large Spanish isopods, Magnificus, Bolivare, Expansus. Those, to be very honest with everybody, unless you really know what you're doing, those are tough, and you should expect to lose some animals. If you get them in from a reputable breeder and you work with them and you get all the information, all the advice that you can, you might still struggle because they're really tough. So I got Bolivare going, and the others just kind of fell into place because of the skills that I learned from working with Porcelio Bolivare. Thanks, Russ, for the question. This next one is from Trenton Reptiles 2. Could you ask Christal about her favorite gecko? What her favorite gecko is, please? I think we already answered that.
What is it?
It's Pictus and Acoustic Gecko.
Good answer. This is from Angie. Hi, Angie. Are you online, Angie? I'm sorry I'm missing everybody that's joining here. DEA Exotics, hey, Andrew. Thank you very much for joining. Jillian, Samuel, and Enigmatic Storm. I'll see if I can get to those questions in just a second. This is from Angie. Christal, will you be raising monarchs again this year? And are those ants on that shelf behind you? Oh, so 2 questions. Angie, you can't ask 2 questions.
Yes, those are ants right now. No, wait.
Careful.
Right here.
But
And
are
this
you
is-
raising monarchs this
Are we
year?
going to go and get the stuff? Say,
Yes, I want to raise monarchs again because I love monarchs.
I just showed you how last year. Let me do that, please.
I just missed a question here. How do you guys get on vacation with so many geckos to care for? What's a vacation? Ryan McVeigh, what's a vacation? I know you don't know either. Jillian, Samuel, I use mosquito bits, drinks in my pond and all the worms and inverts in the rocks and surrounding areas are thriving. I would use them in my isopod cultures if I had a fungus gnat issue. Just FYI. Thank you very much for the additional information. Let me go next to Logan Nichols 2. My question would be, what species of isopods would you choose as a display species? Would it be one with striking patterns, colors, or one that is more highly active? I would go with one that's active. I want to see the isopods. One of my criteria for my favorite isopods are the isopods that are more active, like the Porcelio ornatus not high yellow, the yellow spot. But we actually have a display, a small display from DBD Pet again. You know, if I had a Zilla shirt, I'd be wearing a Zilla shirt. Sorry. I got a small display, and I know Zilla sells these as well, these small acrylic display tanks, and I have one that I'll set up, and I'll probably go with something a little bit more active but small. Maybe like a party mix or something like that. Okay, let's get back to the questions. This is from Morgan. Hi, Morgan. Thanks for joining us. And her question is, Wesley's question for you is, how long do isopods live? And it really depends on the isopod, but some will live a very short amount of time and some a little bit longer, but generally it's about 2 years, 3 years or so. And again, varying with temperature specifically. The warmer temperatures obviously will speed up the metabolism and everything. But it really kind of depends on a lot of different factors, I guess, how well you're feeding them and all. Let's see if we have another question on our line here. Josh Winterfeld. Do you think it's possible to add isopods to a vampire crab enclosure as a cleanup crew? I know nothing about vampire crabs. I'm assuming that there's a moist area. There's one. I'm assuming there's a moist area somewhere in the viper or vampire crabs area. And if you can do some sphagnum moss, some decaying wood, if you can have an area isolated for the isopods, I think you'd be fine. If you're dealing with a pond, though, or a puddle or a pool or something, my fear is that those isopods are somehow going to find that standing water, and they're probably not going to do well with the combination of the standing water. Let's go to another question here. This is from, Geocarcinus 2. Gosh, I'm terrible with these names, sorry. How are the Kibera species amber doing? So I got ambers about 6 months ago. No mankai yet, but I see them running around. They're doing great. Ron, if you're watching this video, thank you very much for the ambers. They look great. I love them. It just takes time. You have to be patient with any of the rubber ducky type of isopods. This is from Martiza Santiago. I apologize if I'm butchering these names, but where did you and Nanette meet? Well, that's a topic for conversation and conflict. So I have my answer and Nanette has hers. So real quick, where did we meet?
At Gander Mountain when I started working there.
And you're so
in
wrong.
The warehouse.
And you're so wrong because we actually met at high school years before that. We sat across from the table from each other and talked to each other.
We did not.
We talked all the time to each
You came
other.
down with a brown paper bag lunch. You ate at the end of the table. You left. You never said hello once.
Well, we might have talked, but you didn't listen. Let's agree to disagree.
Yeah, right.
So that's where we met. Let me jump down to the bottom here. Charles, I kept isopods, and I'm going to just add real quick here. Charles Sherman in this session started me with isopods years and years ago. He was the founding member of isopods, one of the true leaders in the whole isopod. And nobody knows this, and it's a shame. But Charles tried to convince me, Charles, how many years ago? 5 or 6 years ago, to get into isopods, and he was keeping some of the rare isopods in the country at that time and breeding them. Just an incredible knowledge base. But anyways, Charles asked the question. I keep isopods in with my crabs, but they would eat them. And I had a pond. Dwarf purples is what I use. Perfect. There's an answer. Thank you very much for jumping in, Charles. And this is from Aquaballs Down the Wormhole. How is the betta breeding these days? Down the Wormhole does some amazing fish. Go check her channel out. Great channel. Thanks for joining. Charles, 2013-ish. 7 years ago? Are you even that old? You're not that old. I don't know. Okay, let me go back to our little tablet here and find another question. Enzo Geckos, another great channel. Go out and check out Enzo Geckos, not just for his beautiful, wonderful leopard geckos, but all the information that he shares. Enzo asks, as a leopard gecko person, I'd love to know more about your history with leopard gecko breeding and your favorite morphs. Oh gosh, leopard geckos actually started my gecko keeping history, and this is about 19 years ago. I kept chameleons first, believe it or not. Got a pair of leopard geckos, and they bred and got the eggs, and I was thrilled at that point. They just did so well. And then at some point, I started buying the bigger end animals from Albie Scholl, Too Cool Geckos. Anybody remember Albie Scholl? I hope you remember him because he's still around the hobby working with snakes. Craig Stewart from the Urban Gecko. Amazing animals, and just, that started my whole interest in leopard geckos. My favorite morph would have to be probably Sunglows. I like the Tremper combination with the Caratails. Just beautiful, beautiful animals. Yes.
I can say their name.
Who are you? Oh, go ahead. Sure. You see somebody coming in?
Thank you for joining down the wormhole.
And Dark,
And then,
go ahead.
MOEB.
Go ahead.
There.
Oh, okay. Thanks for joining, Emily B.
And down the wormhole.
Yes.
Were you into geckos before Nanette, or was it her that roped you in? How did you get the other involved in the hobby? We were dating for how many years? 5 years. We've been married for 30-something years, and so those 40 years, I didn't start keeping reptiles until 20 years ago, and isopods probably about 2.5 years ago. So I roped her in more than she roped me in.
And then it was, how did you get the other one in? This one, I think.
How did we get Christal?
Crystal just loves nature.
Oh, I get it.
She
Yeah.
loves nature, and she's just really into animals.
And I think they roped me into the geckos.
We got you in because you were living here and you just had to start working.
Yeah.
Christal, and you're not getting paid. Christal, here's a question from you from Danielle. Danielle B, I'm sorry. Christal, what do you want to be when you grow up? Why?
I want to be a doctor because I want to heal people. That's why.
Good answer.
Daniel B.
Great.
Excellent,
Thank you.
excellent. Dark Reptiles, I'm having a hard time scrolling and watching everything. Just go ahead and post your question again, and I'll make sure that I catch it this time. My apologies. We have Sean. Orange-head roaches are excellent breeders. They are more meaty and larger than dubias. Orange-head roaches, are they the same that they don't climb like dubias? I have to say, dubias, saves my life downstairs with feeding and having extra feeders around. I don't know where I would be if I didn't have dubias around. Okay, Toilet Pete. With a name like Toilet Pete, this question has to be good. Wasn't that an old Schmuckers commercial? Okay, how long does it usually take an isopod to reach maturity? Again, it depends. It really does. The smaller isopods, dwarf whites, are quicker to maturity. Some will say that the large Spanish take a lot longer. Charles, what's your experience with this? I think the larger the isopod, the longer it takes to reach maturity. However, I feel like some of my Hoffman Sagi are reaching maturity in maybe 6 or 7 months. It's just crazy how the Titans, the Porcelio Hoffman Sagi, are breeding downstairs. Okay, Dark Reptiles, no problem. Samantha says, oh, okay, fair enough. Are they what you would use in a bioactive setup? As I've heard of springtails and woodlice, are they a form of isopod? I'm not sure which animal that you're talking about. But as far as a bioactive, good isopods to start with are the dwarf whites, anything smaller, burrowing. I really think, and I'd like to hear somebody's opinion on this, if they've tried giant canyons, a bigger isopod that will dig down and burrow into the substrate and kind of stir around the soil a little bit. That would be an interesting isopod to try in a bioactive. Go.
Sorry, I jumped in.
Thank you for joining.
Permian exotics.
Thank you for joining in Nanette.
Permian Exotics. Thank you, Morris.
And he says, hello all.
And Joshua says, question, is it okay? Boy, this is bouncing too quick. Joshua says, is it okay to keep pair crested geckos just during breeding time or long term? That's a long question. I'm going to answer my way. My way is it depends. If your temperatures cool down in the winter, to give the male crested geckos a chance to catch up, because all that their mind is on during the breeding season is eating, pooping, and breeding. But if your temperatures cool down in the location that you're using to the point where the geckos will become inactive, like in our basement, I think it's fine to keep them together. But that's a huge controversial issue in the hobby right now. And I think you really need to find a couple of people, ask them the same question, and balance the answers, and you make the call yourself. So it's always safe to separate them. I just don't with a lot of my animals because our temperatures drop into the, mid 60s, high 60s. Yes. Dark reptiles. I'm getting $300 from my dubia selling, and I really want a new gecko breeding group. I have leopard geckos, but of course going to research a lot before, but would like some advice from the king. $300. Oh my gosh. I couldn't suggest more, and I think this is kind of going to be a cop-out here, but go back and watch some of my unboxing videos, because I've unboxed cat gecko, and this is for me personally, and these are a little bit higher difficulty animals, but I've unboxed cat geckos and Phelsuma clemeri, which is one of my favorite, but another advice that I would give, rather than trying to list off a bunch of different geckos, go back to my video of my top 10 favorite geckos. That's probably a good choice because you'll probably be able to spend probably $300 or less on a gecko and get a really, really nice gecko. A pair of Madagascarensis day geckos is a great option. Gold dust geckos, great option, and far less than $300. Okay, Sean 8. I think that the type of isopod would be how humid you will keep your bioactive enclosure. Great point. Charles says giant day geckos. Aquaballs, dark reptiles, where are you from? Charles Picta, absolutely. Kane Hearts HXC. Hi Wally, we read one of your questions. I'm not going to go back, sorry. Aquaballs, I do like to salson roaches. I have a lot dubias and orange heads where is the best place. Oh, salsum, I'm sorry. That would be a long question. Check around Facebook. You can't put prices on Facebook, obviously, but check for the different groups. Reptile shows us a huge seller or a place to buy. A great place to sell dubia roaches, any kind of a roaches. Check your pet stores. More and more pet stores are buying dubia roaches. And if you just kind of put it out there like you're doing here, you're going to sell your roaches. And we have Dark Reptiles is from Sweden. Way to go. And Joshua, a question to the current family. What's your favorite morph of crested gecko? Do you know what a morph of a crested gecko is?
No.
Not so much? Nanette, do you know what a morph is?
Oh, it's the color scheme.
The color scheme.
I would say the darker ones. I like the darker
The
colors.
more mocha, the chocolate with the white cake frosting on.
Grandpa likes red. What do you like? Do you like the cream color or do you like the
I
red
like
ones?
the red ones like my grandpa.
Oh.
Who wants to know who my favorite son is?
Go ahead.
Beastie, I think it's Beast Mode. Who is your favorite son?
Yeah. Who is your
All
favorite?
three of them.
Cop out.
Well, who's yours?
Who is my grandpa's
I don't even know how to answer that in a funny way.
son?
That's
Remember one of them?
it's
is
not
her
going to
daddy.
happen. It's not going to happen. Oh yeah, of course. Jordan is my favorite.
Yeah.
Yay, my dad is his favorite.
You got questions? Well,
Go ahead and read one. I'm going to
How do you
see.
change your young crested geckos into different CGDs? Oh, how do you change it for their foods?
Oh, how do I change up their foods? I just change them. So I'll feed one type of crested gecko diet, Pangea, for probably about a month and a half,
Flavor.
maybe even flavor, for maybe a month and a half, maybe even 2 months, and then I'll just change the bag. What I've found is I never ever have a problem with changing over. Now it may take a feeding before they all start eating again, but within a feeding, all of the crested geckos are eating. I'm a big believer that if a crested gecko is hungry, it's going to find the food and it is going to eat the food. No matter if you think that they don't eat insects or they don't eat crested gecko diet, if they eat insects and they're not eating crested gecko diet, or they're eating crested gecko diet and they're not eating insects, or they prefer one diet over the other, I'm a big believer that take the food out for 3 days, 4 days, and introduce it again, and those crested geckos are going to eat.
You've got somebody asking you if you have advice. Dark reptiles. Do you
Okay.
have any advice for me as a little YouTube channel? That's probably
Oh.
a side conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining Zach Miller.
Oh, Zach. Thanks for joining, Zach Miller. Yeah, two things for YouTube channels that are just starting off. Publish yourself like you just did right there. I'll go on after this and I'll check out your channel if I haven't already. If I haven't already subscribed. Hold on just a second.
Wait.
Hold on just a second. The biggest thing is make sure, and boy, I don't know if this is good or not, but make sure your lighting is good. Make sure your audio is good. And I've struggled with that, this whole last year and a half or so, back and forth with the lighting especially. Go out and buy yourself a good softbox for $50. And, make sure that you have a halfway decent mic. You can get a lapel mic for $25. Make sure you're set up that way. And put out the content that you enjoy putting out. It makes no sense in the world to try to be an expert in crested gecko morphs if you only know 2 or 3 of them. If you love something about the hobby, go on YouTube and show that you love it and you'll get followers. It's as simple as that.
Hannah wants to know if you're going to any shows.
Hannah, we're going to the Janesville Show Me Your Reptiles show. We're going to the Northern Reptile Expo up in Green Bay. And we'll be doing, just finalized today or yesterday, late yesterday, we're going to be doing the next Sewer Fest coming up in August. So you can see us at any one of those 3 shows. We'll have some rare geckos, we'll have some isopods, and we'll certainly have the isopod chow.
Zach, yes, Christal is behaving.
I guess it depends on what your
And
definition of behaving is, right?
She's
And-
behaving.
You said, oh, and is Crystal behaving for you?
Yes.
It's for the question for these 2.
And you are.
And what's your answer, Grandpa?
I'll give you a passing grade for now, I guess.
And you guys thought
Follow me on TikTok. That's from Zach Miller.
Oh,
Oh.
Mr. Geckos.
Shh, don't yell, because the mic's sitting right in front of you. Everybody just probably went, Christal. Real quick, I'm not on
Same on
TikTok, but I
TikTok.
certainly need to
I will
be.
follow you on TikTok, Zach Miller.
Can you show me how to use TikTok?
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to download.
Okay,
the-
yeah, you can show Grandpa later.
Kane Hart says, come to the Missouri Show Me shows. I would love to. I'd love to make more shows. I just need to still build up our animals. Our inventory right now is kind of a little bit low, so these next 3 shows are probably going to do it for us, probably for the year. We'll see. Excuse me. Real quick, we're going to go for another maybe 5 or 10 minutes at the very most before my camera battery dies. This Canon M50 battery dies pretty quick. But I did want to say, if you have a suggestion for the Supreme Gecko YouTube channel, please add it below, and I'll catch those comments after the show and address them. I really am looking for constructive input onto how we can better this channel. I really want the channel to grow, even though I just checked today and we passed the 4,000 subscriber mark. And it seems like it was just yesterday that we were at about 1,300, 1,400. So thank you, everyone. I greatly appreciate your support.
And I never thought we can hit over 4,000 likes.
How about that?
Followers.
Okay, go ahead, Nanette.
I can't see.
Okay.
I don't.
Just a second.
Okay, this is from Dark Reptiles. If you are okay with showing my Bearded Dragons video, I'm not catching that. I'm sorry. Congratulations, 4,000 from Charles. Thank you. Dark Reptiles, I'll definitely catch your videos. Elaine says, do you have a escalation plan for all of your or evacuation plans for all your creatures? We don't. We talked about
We
this
just did this week.
2 days ago.
Yeah, we just started talking about it.
just started talking about it. So we're just in the initial phases. I think everybody knows how trying to be how organized I am and Excel based I am. So I'll have to, I guess, put together an Excel spreadsheet on this and get our plans
An
together.
Excel spreadsheet.
Two of Zach Miller's questions
Does Zach have questions again? I don't
Yeah.
see any questions.
right there.
And I just got a note from Down the Wormhole. I think that's a hit the like button if you like this video. So everybody hit that like button if you haven't already. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and hit notification all. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
I need.
Oh, you can't move that. Where are you going? She knows your computer.
Yes, she does. Sorry, folks, for the delay here. While she's doing that, I'm going to ask another question. This is from Van Hodges. My question is, what is the most expensive gecko you've ever purchased? The most expensive gecko I've ever purchased might be a lot to some people, might not be that much, but I paid, I think, $2,000 for a female African fat-tail gecko. And in fact, I purchased 3 of them, so $2,000 a piece. That was way back when.
Yeah, that was.
You looked at me like you didn't know that. Like,
Yeah.
did I say 2,000? I meant 200. I missed the zero.
This question is for my grandma, and I'm gonna read it because it's from Zach Miller. And yeah, for you.
Okay.
Nanette is a treasure. Oh my gosh, Wally, how did you do it? Blink, Nanette, if you need help. Blink.
Why do I need help?
Outstanding.
Okay, I need to find a
Outstanding.
Nanette.
You're going
Oh,
the wrong way.
no.
Okay.
Wait there.
Ouch. Okay, go.
A question for me from Zach Miller. So he said it is red or orange for Christal Isopod scale.
What does that mean? Red or orange for Isopod scale.
Is it a red or orange for Christal Isopods?
So you like orange or red better?
No,
Right?
no. This is per the Isopod setup review, and orange means there's maybe some problem.
Okay.
Reds means you're gonna lose everything. So, Christal, you're a lime green because you're good to go. Green means good and good to go.
Yeah, and I'm always a lime green.
I wanted to make a comment real quick. Hold on, stop. What are you doing?
Just trying to go back to the.
You're not controlling this. This is okay. This is from Lord K. Python. I swear I can't pronounce your name, but Samantha. I also have a small Isopod channel. If you're interested in them, mostly about what I am working with and experiences I am doing with them. And your Isopod videos are wonderful. Keep up the good work. Your questions. I'll go through questions and I'll see a question from you kind of down at the bottom of the screen, and I see your name pop up, and it's like, oh boy, this is going to be a big one. So I appreciate all of your support, but more appreciate your thought-provoking questions. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go down. We're going to go just a couple more minutes, and then we'll call it a night here. Somebody said, you are so nice. That's Dark Reptiles. That must be directed to me, I think.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Charles busted.
Multiple times.
Dark Reptile says, my grandma's name is also Annette. Yours is close. You get that extra N in front of your name, so you're extra special. But God bless your grandmother, Annette. And XX Callum Ray says, Wally, any tips on keeping tropical gray, whoops, it went up. Tropical gray isopods, mine aren't doing very well. I would say, obviously tropical grays need a little bit of substrate. Set them up the same way. I tell you what, if you send me a setup, a video of your setup, I'll take a look at it and I'll do an Isopod setup review for you. That's probably the easiest way, and then I can kind of pick out a couple of things. Maybe I can help. So go ahead and send me that, and we'll take a look at those.
There's two questions from Zach
They're
Miller.
not questions, honey, they're statements.
Zach
Oh.
says, thank you for your support. And I'll read these,
And
Crystal, and
then-
then we're going to go ahead and end it. And Zach says, inspired the hobby and improve it all the same time. Thank you very much, Zach. If anything that we're trying to do here, and that means you too, especially in Crystal, we're trying to
And-
share education. We're trying to share hopefully valuable information. And a lot of times that valuable information is very valuable because it's the things that I've done wrong that I can share with you and say, don't do this because I already did it and it doesn't work, or I had these kind of problems. So hopefully that's valuable. I'll keep doing it until somebody says, that's enough. We can't stand you doing YouTube videos anymore, but we'll see how it goes. X Callum says, thanks, Wally. I will contact you. Perfect.
Okay.
Charles says, take him up on that, X Callum. Sounds good. And after I review it, I'm going to send it to you, Charles, and you can, put your 2 cents in, and we'll double team up and make sure that we get it. I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. I hope you like this format. Hopefully it worked. Hopefully the lighting. I've always been real picky with the lighting and the sound and everything, but if this worked with the lighting and the sound, and how we're reading the questions and everything, again, throw that thumbs up.
And the
Say-
wiggle worm.
Say it worked in the comments. Let us know how you feel about this format. If you want to see us doing a Q&A, kind of a live session once in a while, maybe once every month or two, let us know in the comments. And we really appreciate everybody hanging on there for 45 minutes and joining us tonight.
Bye. Give it a big thumbs up if you like it.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Oh, and bye again.